started several of your own businesses. You started a t-shirt line and...
Yeah, that one didn't go so well.
Didn't it? Well, you probably learned so much from that.
Yeah, look, I think with business, yeah, it's especially coming out of sort of an education type background, and where I worked, and then I worked for Reach as well as an education sort of consultant, developing programs. So, and Jim was all about business. So it was, business is very different. So, you know, that was my first business venture. Yeah, I did that with my sister-in-law. We lost a fair bit of money on that one, but that's okay. I just remember Jim going, Sam, you know, because he's trying to teach me about, because for me back then business was about, well, I love the product, and it was, how funny it was when I had little kids. And so in the end, when I understood it as a business, I'm like, do I really want to work my bollocks off for the next 10 years to make X amount? It wasn't even really worth doing. Yeah, okay. So that folded, and yeah, that was sort of not great. I was devastated. I was crying for days over that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it was your first kind of
but I learned
go at it. Oh, you would, and sometimes it has to fail for you. You learn more, I reckon, when you fail and are a bit shit at things than if you go into it and you just ace it. Yeah,
but look, business for me isn't a natural sort of interest, and I'm not. I wouldn't have said that in the past I'm particularly good at it, because like I'm more like, when we're involved with partners with childcare, even my role in that was creative. Yeah, right. The creative roles. So, but then when Jim got sick, man, I had to learn it pretty quickly. Oh, yeah. So my learning curve from sort of here, like down there about it, you know, it's just been really steep, but really rewarding. And now I get it. So, and what Jim was already up and running, I'm responsible for not only looking after it, but continuing to a degree to build it as his legacy. I feel a sense of responsibility to not take risks to build it, but to keep steadily building it for his kids. Yeah, well, the childcare was sold, which was great. Well, it was sad in some ways, because, you know, it was a business that got sold, and that's complicated, all that, why that got sold. That's a story for another day. So, but in some ways, you know, it enabled me to have a completely fresh start and flush out a whole lot of negativity. You know, it sounds really simple, but Jim was all about, you know, you keep people in your life where they help your candle burn really brightly, not try and put it out all the time. So that was a good thing for me. And then I just, you know, now I'm responsible for looking after all sorts of different business interests that I inherited. Like, I didn't create them, so I'm just keeping them running. And yeah, and now I'm just going to, you know, take sort of what I love doing, the creative pursuits and education, and now I'm at an opportunity where I can actually now combine that with business and do my thing. Yeah, so it's a good place to be, and
and it's a courageous thing. Like, you know, I know you did do these with Jim, but it's courageous starting your own businesses. Like with your t-shirt line, which didn't work, you got so much from it, but your pride gets hurt. You can lose money, so it's a big thing to do it.
Yeah, and look, we created the Jimbo Muesli as well, and look, that's all on hold, and we'll get that, you know.
A parked project.
Yeah, it's parked, exactly. So that's another thing. I'm like, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, and it you know, I'm getting organised to, you know, get everything up and about again. So, but it's it's a good place to be. But I'm excited now, and I've still got, you know, insecurities about business, because we came from a business relationship where it was almost drummed into me, like, oh, you couldn't do what I do, let's see if you know, it's like, oh. So sometimes those little insecurities creep in, but I'm like, oh, fuck it. I know I can, you know, I'm completely capable and stuff of doing the thing, so I just keep plugging away. But the nice thing is now that moving forward in business, my business partner is a woman, and I like that. It's really great.
It's so different, isn't it? It's beautiful when it's like you're just on the same. Yeah,
you know. And it just works for me.
Very differently. Men and women work so differently.
Yeah, so that's great. So so you know, it's gonna be an interesting next. You know, I want to work hard, I think, for the next maybe 5 years, and then you know, bring it down a bit. So
for people who, you know, because you have started several businesses, for people who are like, I've got this idea, I want to do it, what do you reckon the first steps are to going, making it an idea? I think all of us have beautiful ideas bubbling away, but we never turn them into actual businesses. Yeah,
well, and look, I'm a bit like that too. I mean, you know, I'm like, oh, what a great idea, I'm going to do this, and you know, following it through, I think, like, when you sort of settle on something that you know you really want to do. So it's the follow through is really important. But that's why I was so devastated with the clothing, the women's apparel, because I definitely followed that